I'm Mary Ellen Geist with Detroit Public Television's GreatLakesNow.org, the Great Lakes Bureau. And we are here at the Great Lakes Economic Forum in Cobo Hall in Detroit. We just heard a fascinating panel about trade and business, and we would like very much to talk with the panelists. I'd like you to introduce yourself, if you would.
Hi, I'm Meredith Lilly. I work at Carleton University. I'm a professor of international trade in Ottawa.
And just a little bit more of some of the research that we just heard about. You were looking at, particularly look at the Great Lakes region or U.S.-Canada.
U.S.-Canada is more my focus. Earlier in the day, there was quite a bit of discussion about the specific Great Lakes Forum and Great Lakes region, so I really was focusing more on the bigger picture.
How are we doing? I saw a chart that was going like this, about manufacturing.
Yeah, so that specific chart was about the loss of manufacturing jobs in the United States over the last 30 years. And a great portion of that was caused actually by technological change. But I also talked a little bit about some of the reasons that trade is implicated in some of those job losses. This isn't really a story, though, about Canada and the U.S. That's a bigger picture story about U.S. trade relations with other countries, as well as domestic issues in the United States. And so I would say that from a Canada-U.S. perspective, our trade relations are very good. And if NAFTA is to be reopened, it's my hope that those negotiations are positive and forward-looking.
What are we doing wrong? What are we doing right? Just some things that if you could speak to, say, the Trump administration as well as Trudeau's administration, what might you recommend?
Well, I would recommend that we keep our eye on the prize, and by that I mean I really think it's important to negotiate trade agreements for the future rather than to negotiate on current debates. The future trading world is going to look very different than today's world. And I am concerned that we're overly focused right now on current debates. That's not to say that they don't need to be addressed. Two major issues that have been in the news quite a bit in the past week have been softwood lumber and dairy. And these are issues that do need to be resolved. But I would really like it if our negotiators and our leaders in both of our countries could be focused on some of the bigger picture issues in our trading relationship.
And some of those bigger pictures are technology. So if you could just talk a little bit about that, because we have comments from President Trump and others saying, you know, we want to bring coal back, things like that, sometimes not addressing the fact that some jobs are just gone and robots are taking their place. And I'd love to get to your example that you showed up on the screen in a little bit, but let's talk a little bit about how we might need to address that a little bit more, that some jobs are just gone for good.
Well, sure. I mean, some jobs are gone, but at the same, I think it's less a question of that than looking at what are the jobs of the future going to be. And technology absolutely has a major focus, a major impact on what those jobs are going to look like. I also think that trade and services is just going to continue to be an area of growth, and our two countries need to prepare better for growth in trade and services. And one of the big issues that would be great if we could address moving forward is labor mobility. It's something that Canada has embraced, and I think it's working well for Canada. And greater labor mobility of Canadians into the United States and back would actually benefit both of our countries.
Could you talk about that interesting company that makes shoes?
Well, yeah, there is an interesting company. I don't get any, they don't pay me, but I found them on Google. Feets.com is one of these companies that is producing 3D printed shoes. The 3D printed shoe I kind of think of it as this example people can relate to, where at one time the way that a shoe was put together was through international trade, really. It was designed usually in the United States, parts of it were sent offshore for assembly, and then it came back to this country. The 3D printed shoe interrupts all of that. It interrupts all of the supply chain and all of those trading relationships because you can print the 3D shoe here. And so I like to use it as an example when I teach and when I give talks to show the ways in which I think the future of trade is really going to look very different. And I think it's a relatable example.
Thank you so much, and look for more on GreatLakesNow.org.